From the bottom of my heart,
yes,
I want to say it very passionately. Every person in this world, no matter who they are, no matter the circumstances under which they were born or raised, no matter where they are today, no matter what they are doing, was created for a purpose. And every person can discover their purpose and become great people.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Muthoni's mission. And guess who's back due to public demand? Chris Kahuria. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Muthoni. I'm a consultant in entrepreneurship and financial management, and I'm also very passionate about helping people to optimize themselves. I do a lot of discussion about how you can discover who you are and pursue the path until you become great.
If you have not found your purpose, there's something you're not doing right.
Yes, if you have not found your purpose, you are busy in this world.
You're busy?
Yes, you're just busy.
Yeah.
This one. And you can be so busy. You can be so busy here and there. And
you're all over the place.
I don't want to, I'm trying to put it in a light way, but it is the truth that many of us we are busy here and there in this world.
Yeah.
And our time is clocking as we get busy here and there.
Okay.
But when we discover our purpose, then we start pursuing it. We stop being busy and we start living.
It has to be something you really enjoy doing. That's
Yes.
number one.
Yes.
Number two?
Number two, it has to be allowed your talents. And what is a talent? A talent is a special gift that is in you. And because we have already said that God designed you to do something specific, Muthoni, okay, a talent, so God brought you into this world for a specific task, and He put into you a deposit that is in line with that. That is a talent.
Yeah.
So you can even say that talent is a gift from God that is supposed to help you achieve your purpose.
Okay.
And we have different talents. And personally, along the way, I realized that I have the writing talent. I have a talent in public speaking. And I also have a talent in relating with people, interacting with people. Unfortunately, the career that I was pursuing was a code career, because either a statistician or an accountant was a career of interacting with the numbers, seated somewhere, not interacting with people, not doing public speaking, not doing much writing, because in the world of numbers there is very little writing.
So you
yeah, so you can see precisely what I had done. I was doing the opposite of who I am.
Introvert.
Yes, I was being forced to become an introvert, yet I'm not one.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I was getting frustrated. Earning money, rising in the career, but getting frustrated because it's like what you would call in art, trying to sow against the grains. So there's a lot of resistance in your life when you're trying to do what you are doing because it is not who you are.
Yeah.
But a talent is that thing that you know you can do. And along the way, if you are keen with yourself, you start discovering things that are in you that are talents. So once you have a talent, and you can link it to something you like doing, then already you're on the path.
Number three? Is that number three?
Yes, there's a number three. Number three, get into the right associations. Because purpose can be frustrated by the environment, the social environment. I've already told you that many of us are what we are today because of what the system made us to be. The system all the way from the way we were raised. Our parents. Some of us were raised by parents who did not go to school. They did not have an idea of how to mold us into what we can be.
Yeah, so when you're young, wanasema nalea kadaktari.
Yes.
So you have to be a doctor when you grow up.
And they even give you an example of somebody in your village who is a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. So every time, I remember when we were growing up, we had a few successful people in our village. We had an engineer, and we had the former PS Karega Bota. He was from somewhere there. So those were the examples. People wanted us to work hard and become like those people. We even had allowed, there was a pilot who later became a member of parliament in my place. So those are the kind of stories we were being told. So we desired things that other people had, instead of trying to discover the things that we had within ourselves. So when we went to school, again, the school molded us to be emphasized on some things that were not us.
Yeah.
But when you discover now that this is my talent, this is what I do best, try to ask yourself, who are the people, what kind of associations can I get into to help me grow who I am instead of becoming who I am not. And again, what you are supposed to be can be frustrated by people who you relate with. Some people have literally abandoned the cause of pursuing their purpose, because people around them have discouraged them. When you try to do something, people think you are a madman. People try to haikai poa, sio wewe, and so on. But when you decide that I want to pursue this line, then the thing you have to do is ask yourself, who are these people who can help me? Maybe somebody who can mentor you, somebody who can give you advice. I remember when we were in high school, we used to have a guidance and counseling department, which also used to be a career department. And unfortunately, instead of being guided on the careers we wanted to be, we were given a number of careers and we were told this is a good ones, these are the good ones. I think a department like that should be, have somebody who you can go and tell.
Yes, I like this. You
come to me, I tell you, Muthoni, I have discovered this is the person I want to be. How can you help me to get that? I can either give you advice or I can link you to another person who can help you in that line. So get into the right associations, expose yourself to, and I think that can be number 4, start exposing yourself.
Exposure.
Like Muthoni, if I wanted to work in the media, the right people to interact with are people like you who have been in the media, to get to understand how does somebody get to start a career in the media, how do you rise, what are the pros and cons of that career, and so on. But you cannot be aspiring to become a journalist, but the person who speaks to your life every day is an engineer or somebody in a totally different field.
Is a socialite.
Yeah, is a socialite and so on. So expose yourself to the right environment. Try go. I usually challenge young people not to wait to be employed. If you know you want to be a journalist and maybe you haven't taken the course, go and volunteer in a media house. Say, I want to be reporting here every day. Give me some clerical work. Stay there and get exposed to that environment and start dreaming along that line, which is very important. And that's something we rarely do. Another one, we have said, how many have we said so far?
Something you enjoy. Yes. Number 2, talent. Number 3, the right environment.
And the right people.
The right people.
Number 4,
exposure.
Expose yourself. Number 5, very, very, very important, gather the right skills. Yes, if I want to, for instance, let me give you an example of myself. In the process of becoming an author, there are skills that I had to build. And some of them may not sound very important, but in my context, they apply. For instance, I started handwriting my books. So I would sit down, yes, with a notebook. I have written a whole book, 2 books on with a pen. Then I realized, after doing all that writing, I have to transfer to type. I have to type. And when I give, my handwriting is not very good. I write like a doctor. My wife really makes fun of that and asks me whoever reads my writing. So I realize when I write, it looks like shorthand. When I give somebody to type, they struggle a lot. But I can read and type. So one of the skills I had to build was typing skills. I had to improve my typing speed and I had to train myself how to type faster, because I realize now, if I want to move from handwriting to typing, and I am very poor in typing, I will slow myself down. So I invested a lot in training myself to know how to type. I also trained myself on how to use different softwares that go with writing a book, which I use. And to date, Muthoni, the only thing I do to my book is to give somebody to proofread. I have done all the writing, I have done all the formatting, I have done all the grammar checks, I have done all the layouts.
Like you trained yourself to do all that.
To an extent that like I can now take somebody's book and publish it.
Wow.
Those are skills I built. So I trained myself with publishing skills.
Yes.
I have trained myself with graphic design skills, because some of the tasks I do, like CV writing and things like company profiles, we need to have those skills. So I kept on building skills. On public speaking, I have had to...
Public speaking.
Yes, public speaking, give myself opportunities to speak to people, even if it is a small group of people. Whenever I have that opportunity, try to utilize it. And also learn. Go to, and in these days, information is even on the internet. If you want to know the art of public speaking, you can just go to YouTube.
Yeah, so you gather skills.
You gather skills. Because, let me tell you what happens, Muthoni, when you don't have skills. Number 1, you'll be disqualified from your own purpose, because you lack the right skills to that. Or number 2, you will also disqualify yourself. Some people have actually pulled out from pursuing who they are, not because it was not possible, but they simply disqualify themselves. They were frustrated because they did not have the right skills. So it is either, and somebody says, it is either you lower your dream or you magnify your skills.
Yes. And there's a match. Yes. So that it can meet your dream.
Some dreams are too high, the skills are here.
Yeah.
You have to try to match the two. Try to bring your skills in tandem with your dream. Okay. Otherwise, why many of us are at that the lower periphery of our dreams is because we are not skilled enough to pursue them.
Like we're not ready for them.
We are not ready for them.
Okay. So do you like, so before you acquire these skills, you already have to do your purpose, right?
Yes.
You can't just start skilling for anything.
You see what ideally we do,
Yeah.
We have many skills. I told you I've been an accountant. So I have those bookkeeping and financial reporting, even grant writing, all those type of skills that because based on the environment I worked, those were skills related to what I was doing. I am a statistician by profession also. So I have data analytical skills.
Star what?
Yeah, data
Star what?
Statistics.
Okay,
statistician.
Okay. I want to attempt to say it.
Does it sound?
Yeah. It's technical. It sounds serious.
It's too like, by the way,
yeah,
you used to feel very good when people call you and you go to the village. People ask you, by the way, who are you training to be? And you tell them, I want to be a statistician.
Yeah.
And,
you're intimidating people.
And they do it.
Hizo ni career za kutu intimidate sisi. Yeah.
Yes. So I have those skills.
Yes.
But you see, they are not related to my purpose. And something else, and I would call it number 6, that you need. It is the courage to drop what you are doing when you realize it is not your purpose.
Uache kazi.
Yes, the courage. That is what we lack. And some of us are dilly-dallying in employment or in what we do, hoping that at some point we will have enough muscle and courage to abandon that and do it. And you see, the earlier you start, the better.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So you are an accountant, you are a teacher, you are an engineer.
Yes.
You're making good money, like your life is okay, your children are in school, you're paying your bills.
Yes.
However, your passion is something that's not bringing any money to you.
Yes.
How then do you quit your day job or your employment to go do something that you love to do but haina do? You can't survive on it.
Because what is your motivation in life, Muthoni? Many of us are motivated by money. So tunasema kazi ni kazi, biashara, as long as it is bringing money. By the way, there are very many people who would rather do odd things.
Then justifies the means.
Yes, they say the head justifies the means. So if you are motivated by money, and I want to give you a quote from one of my favorite authors by the name of Napoleon Hill. And he says, he has written a book known as The Law of Success, which has 16 laws. And at the end of the book, somebody asked him, Napoleon Hill, out of these laws you have written, which one would you classify to be the most important law in this life? And he said, the most important of these laws is the patience to work long enough before beginning to earn. Most of us, you want to start doing something today and make money today. So anytime you feel something is not bringing quick money, even if it is what you'd want to do, you don't want to do it. So I would advise everyone to have the courage to even sacrifice, make a sacrifice, an ultimate sacrifice to stop earning what you'd want to earn to pursue something that is you. That is courage that we need. Because until you get that courage and that patience to know that I am not in this for the money, in this for impact. And that's something that has really motivated me. Muthoni, if I will tell you, I have gone through a period of about 6 years of where my income has dropped by over half, yet I have responsibilities. And at some point I have almost regretted why I dropped from what I was doing. Because I felt, in this life we were not born to suffer. Of course, there's somebody who sang a reggae song, Born to Suffer, but we believe we are not born to suffer. And therefore, anytime you feel you are struggling a lot, what are you tempted to stop what you are doing and get something else?
You feel like it's not right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So don't always be moved by rewards. Be moved by the desire to cause impact. Because remember we said purpose. You came into this world designed to do something. And God was very categorical and very purposeful in trying to bring you to make this world a better place. And that's something that never sinks in us. We weren't just want to come and pass through this world. God intended
to pass through.
Yes, pass through.
Peter too.
Yes, we are not the Passover. Passover kind of a life. You aren't here in this world to just pass over it. You are here to make this world a better place.
Okay, so
yes.
Someone might ask, hii purpose ile inafanya niacha my day job, what is giving me a living? Why do I really need to find this purpose? Why is it important? Because
of something known as fulfillment and something known as impact. What brings the most fulfillment in this life is not the money you made. And more than one time I'm going to take you through something I analyzed somewhere from one of Maxwell's books, John C. Maxwell, where he has analyzed the lives of people who are known as the who is who in their time. Very successful, wealthy people who had achieved great things and who are transforming the world. And who would be this, like these days you hear the Forbes list of maybe the 4 most successful, the wealthiest people in the world. People who are in that list. And one time they started disappearing one by one. So he analyzed their lives and he picked 20 most successful people of his time. And out of those 20, their ending was disastrous. You hear somebody committed suicide. Yes, another one died out of addiction. Depression. At least 5 of them committed suicide. And you wonder, how would somebody who has achieved so much in life commit suicide? It is because that person does not have any fulfillment at all. They lack it at all. They are trying to...
Fulfillment is...
Yes, they have tried to color their life with big things that they have achieved, that they have. But deep down their soul, they are dying, they are crying.
Able describe fulfillment kidogo.
Fulfillment is that state of feeling that I have done the best that I could have done in this life. And it is not... It's
being happy with your life.
Yes, it is, you are happy. And it is not just happiness, it is joy. Something that is deep down in your soul. Because sometimes we do big things. Because there are even people who are making money out of corruption. They are making money out of conning others.
Yes.
That person is successful, but that person will one day get back to themselves and start regretting the things they have done in this life. Muthoni, if there's a point at which you can sit down with yourself and you say, in this life I have no regrets, you are a fulfilled person. The only thing you are regretting...
regrets?
You will regret maybe a few mistakes you made.
Okay.
But that other day you say, I am happy with the person I have become. That is what you call fulfillment. I am happy with the person I have become. I am happy with the lives I have touched. I am happy with the impact I have caused in this world.
Yes.
That is what fulfillment is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want you, there's a time uniongelesha kuhusu solitude.
Yes.
Spending time with yourself. Yes. I want you to talk about that in regards to finding your purpose.
Now that is not the path. So we've said the most important things. Now the path.
Okay.
In discovering, it is the path of now discovering. I think we did not start with that. The path of discovering.
Discovering your purpose.
Yes, and I normally say, you will never discover yourself in the noise and the hush and the haste. You can only discover yourself in silence. And we are in a world that is full of noise. And a lot of running here, up and there, to make money, to do things, to be felt. But people have lost the power of solitude. And many years ago in the 18th and 19th century, even the greatest philosophers were people who are known to be people of solitude. People who lived weird lives when they were alone, because they did not, sometimes they even looked antisocial. Because those are people who had learned the secret of retreating to themselves and trying to discover something within. Because I always believe that purpose, God speaks it to us. But you know, God does not speak to you when you are running up and down.
True.
He speaks to you when you are settled and in solitude. The power of solitude, meditating, because there is a very interesting thing I've written in one of my books known as the purpose of the secret of capturing an idea. When you settle somewhere down with yourself, Muthoni, and you just,
meeting.
Yes, unajiita meeting, and you lay still in the presence of God. What happens when that happens? Because the power of God is always flowing through the universe. There is a scientific thing they call ether that science tells us there's a force that holds the universe that is known as ether, which is invisible, but it is flowing all around, supporting the universe. Me, I believe it the other way.
So what?
Ether, it is known as ether.
Yeah. What is that?
A lot of research has been done by scientists to discover ether. That force, that it says it's a medium. It's like a medium.
Right.
The way you can say you have put something that it is floating on water, and water is supporting it. So they say there is a medium known as ether that holds the universe. That's why the universe is stable like that, because it is being held.
Like some energy.
Yes, it's a form of energy, but also, yes, a medium. So if they're saying that the universe is not just anywhere, it is being held by
it is revolving around.
Yes, it's being held by a force known as ether, which is moving seamlessly around the universe.
Oh God, yes.
So me, I look at it the other way. It's a very interesting concept. One day, when we are not, somewhere we explain it to you better. So in the same manner, what I believe is that the power of God is flowing seamlessly through the universe. Because God created us and with purpose. And God is always trying to search for us to help us understand our purpose. So when you settle down to yourself and get somewhere with God, He starts to visit you and to start thinking through your mind. It's the power of God that is flowing, trying to bring light to your life so that you can see who you really are. Because many of us don't know who we really are. And there is one pop musician who sang that there is a reason why people don't even say who they are. Me, I usually say, do they really even know who they are?
Yeah, they don't know.
We don't know.
We just know my name is Muthoni and I'm born again.
Yeah, I'm born again. I'm going to heaven by faith and so on. And with those who are going. I wish I could say it in Kikuyu. Yes, that power of solitude. And personally, I have tested it because in 2018, when I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil because of, I felt like my life has just fallen, like the way the Chinese rocket is falling to the earth. I felt like my life has just fallen.
Yeah. I
was literally going nowhere. And I felt it is time, I really had time with myself to ask myself, what am I doing in this world? I have a family, I have all things I want to do. I am serving God, but I feel that I do not understand who I am. So, and that is when I wrote my first book known as Awakening Your Purpose. That book is very interesting. It's actually a story of how I discovered myself. I went somewhere for 2 weeks in a prayer center. I carried my phone, which I went and switched off, but I had my laptop and I had my modem. So later what I was doing, I was reading, doing a lot of reading and prayer, and creating sometimes to just say they're doing nothing. And when in that process, I started feeling some new power. And along the way, I could write things I was feeling, things that I felt coming through me. Within no time, I realized I was writing a book.
Wow.
And I went 20 pages, 50 pages, 70, 75, 100 pages, 150 pages. I was still writing in 2 weeks. By the time I was living there on the third week, I just came to complete and to just put it in chapter form and all that. Right?
Okay.
But that's how I discovered myself. And I realized not many of us today understand that secret of solitude. Creating time for yourself and with yourself, you and your God.
Yes. I am 50 years old, I am 60 years old, and I don't know my purpose.
Yes.
What do I do? Okay, are there people who die, mwefika 100 years, who kujua purpose yako? So now...
Yeah, I've just told you that some of us were just passing over this world. And we even say this world is not my home. And that one has made us think that because this world is not our home, we have no purpose.
Yes. Demogedi.
Yes, Demogedi.
Nimekuja matembezi huku.
Yes, one
person ni binguni.
There's a very funny testimony I had in Kikuyu. Mama said that I'll just no, I'm just going to heaven with those who are going. You know, literally, that is the state of many of us. We are passing over this world together with others, but we are not ourselves.
We are on a journey.
Yeah, we are on a journey. We are heading somewhere where our purpose is. And we don't know that. Why do we need to be in this world if this is not a place where we have purpose?
Yeah.
So the thing is, many of us walk through life like that. But there are people who discover it along the way. And it does not matter at what age. It is interesting with only that in our continent, people who are 50 are thought to be very old and out of fashion. Write-offs, rejects. So you think somebody cannot discover something at age 50 or at age 60 and run with it. But go to the Western countries. See even the presidents. How old is Joe Biden?
He's very old.
And Trump also. They were in over 70. But that is, they are at the peak of their life. There is no point in this life as long as you are breathing that you can say that you don't have time to pursue your purpose. And you know, Muthoni, I'm turning 40 in January next year. I don't know whether 40 years old, but they say life begins at 40.
You are about to start living.
Yes, I'm just about to start living.
Yes.
And I'm happy at least I start living when I have discovered my purpose. People think that when you get 40, because we say youth is from 18 to 35. So, but what does it mean that people who are above 35 have no time to do something significant? No. In fact, a lot of significance in this life starts from those 40s. In those years that people call the midlife crisis. In fact, the midlife crisis is the best opportunity to discover yourself. If you don't discover yourself
during the crisis.
Yes, during that crisis. Crises by they are designed to make us retreat to ourselves. And unfortunately, some of us just fight to the crisis without trying to question ourselves. So if you are 40 and you have discovered your purpose, that is the best time. If you are 50, that is the best time. If you are 60, if you are 70, there is not, as long as, because who told you how many years you are going to live in this world? There are people who are dying at 40, others at 50, others at 60, others at 100.
Others at 20 years.
Unless you have discovered it at 50 and you are going to die tomorrow, and you say that I'm time barred. There is no time at which. And by the way,
you're going to die tomorrow.
A lot of people who have discovered this secret and they are working, have already started warming up for something they are going to do after they retire. And that is very, very nice. If you know that along the way I have discovered something I want to do with my life, that it is not what I am doing now, then you start preparing yourself for it. Lay the structures. If you are working and you discover that when I retire, this is what I want to do. Because to most people, retirement is a death sentence. They have no purpose in that life.
They say ni kama kutoka jela. Ukitoka jela huwezi survive nje.
Yes, huwezi survive nje. Because you have no purpose in this life. But let me tell you, somebody who is living on purpose, they don't even realize that they are 70. Yes. So there is no...
They're happy to live. They're happy to enjoy life.
I usually challenge people I talk to, my clients, at any point that you discover that there is something that is really that you need to do, start learning the structures and start working on it. Things don't come at an instance. It is a journey. Start on that journey. And many of us are on that journey. We are yet to we may not even know. The Bible says that the things that God has prepared for us, and it is not up there. It is in this world.
Tusingoje kwenda kukalia kiti ya
dhahabu. Sometimes we read the Bible, we think it is talking about heaven. The Bible says in Ephesians, it's Corinthians, I don't remember the exact verse. It says that the things that God has prepared to those who love Him, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived. But then it goes on to say, which He reveals to us. So there is something that God has carved out for you, which is going to reveal to you as you continue having that walk with Him and creating time with Him. Something for this world. Forget about the heaven. Heaven should be the result of your life here on earth. So I don't want to be so much obsessed with heaven that I have no significance. But
like you're not living, waiting to live in heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, like we are like zombies.
Yes, sometimes I ask myself, suppose we realize that heaven was a hoax.
It was a lie.
Yes, it was.
Guy, umekaa huko.
Umekaa huko kungojea kwenda mbinguni. I'm not saying it is. I believe there is life after death.
Yeah. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, but imagine it was a hoax that somebody has been tricking us that there is life after death. And you are...
What did you do with your life?
Yes, what did you do with this only? Because it means this is the only life you will have. What will you do with this? Again, also remember...
Yeah, that's such a good question. Yes. I think everyone should ask themselves that question. Yes. What am I doing with my life?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also say, and it is written in the Bible, that in heaven, there is eternal life and there are also crowns. And crowns are rewards that people will receive based on the life they did, the work they did here on earth. Works. The works ni kazi ya mikono. What did you literally do? Some of us are going to be very successful in heaven, and others are going to be failures in heaven.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a car, it means you are being rated for everything you do in this world. And how does...
Sorry, you are being rated for?
For everything you are doing in this world. I like to be controversial and say that purpose is like an exam that God set before you. And every day He's marking. He has a marking scheme. So every day He's marking. And when you go to heaven, He's going to present to you your results. And tell you, Muthoni, this is how you performed in that life. And therefore, this is what you qualify for here in heaven. So it means God is marking your purpose. I created Muthoni to do ABCD. What is she doing? Is it an X or a tick?
Can you have many purposes? Like, can you think this is my purpose? Ukianza kuifanya una feel tena unapata purpose ingine?
You can have your purpose in many dimensions,
wow, okay.
But I usually see purpose as one thing.
One
thing. In one of the books that I have written, known as the 50 Rules. By then, my books are on Amazon at the moment. Very soon, they will also be in paperbacks for people who want to see the hard copy.
I want the hard copies.
Yes, they are coming very soon. Don't worry. The law of one thing.
Yeah. Because
God does not order confusion. So the law of one thing is that you are created for one thing. There is something, a specific problem in this world that is designated for me, another one designated for you.
Yes.
So God did not ask me to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things.
You cannot have
this way purposes for me to do many things. God assigned one thing for me. It is now the how to discover that one thing. And I have said you can be doing other things. It is possible because that's basically what we have been doing. And by the way, don't forget that you can also be pursuing your purpose alongside other things. Your purpose does not have to
you
be
have a business also.
It doesn't have to be the things that earns you a living.
But the goal is for it to make you money.
Yes, right? That is the goal. Ultimately. And I gave you the quote of Napoleon Hill. There is one belief that we have with a few of my colleagues where I work at Silicon Consulting, where we say, when you are pursuing impact, not pursuing money, pursuing impact, money does not come, it floods. But of course it does not come at the beginning. It's somewhere along the way. You are so much focused on impact, so much focused on purpose. And again in that same book, my book, The 50 Laws of Purpose, I have said that God gives you a purpose.
The 50 laws. The
50 laws of purpose.
Yeah.
God gives you a purpose. He supports you to do that purpose. He supplies to you the resources to do that purpose. He creates for you the environment because you have a lot of opposition, so he has to walk with you along the way. And finally, he rewards you.
Oh, we need that book. You should have those books here.
Yes, very soon.
Zikishatokea hivi tutakuwa tunaongezikiwa hapa.
Yes, so finally he rewards you.
Yes.
And the reward that God gives you may delay. The Bible says it may tarry, but there is an appointed time that it will come and it will surprise you. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I feel like this is my purpose.
Yes, thank you.
Like what I do on my YouTube channel, I love. It fills me.
Yes.
It makes me feel so good. I'm happy.
Yes.
It's effortless. I can do it all day. Like now we've been filming kutoka asubuhi sijui kuna kelele, kuna nini, kamera imefanya nini. And we're still here and we still have energy.
You know, Mother, let me say something to encourage you and also to encourage others. Huh?
Yes.
This world has very few good people and we need to have enough good people like Muthoni who wake up every morning and they are thinking of our life to touch. We need very many good people. And you know why we don't have very many good people? Because the things people are doing are not who they are. Because the moment you discover who you are, you start being good. You know, there's a verse in the book of Genesis, after God had created everything and said it is good. So everything God created is good when it is in its right shape, when it is in its right form, and when it is pursued as it should be. Everything that God created is good. If God created you and you have discovered your purpose, you'll be a good person.
Yeah, and then also, since I found my purpose, like what I do here, I have a very good relationship with God. Like I have that connection with God, and it's not something I can really even explain. It's like how you keep quoting the Bible here. You say you found your purpose, and then you automatically get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, purpose is this. You cannot delink purpose from God.
Because he's gave it to you, right?
Yes. And let me tell you, there are people who somebody has never preached to. But the moment they discover their purpose, they found themselves automatically drawing nearer to God. There is a force because, you see, God is always shedding light on your purpose. Somehow he attracts you to himself. And when you are engaged in something that is not you, that is not your purpose, sometimes you can get very far from God. That's why you see people getting obsessed with making money and such things. Things that have no value in this life. And Jesus asked, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Because I think many of us are in a rush, in a competition, and
we are busy, like you said.
We are busy trying to gain this world instead of actually discovering ourselves to get fulfilled. And then we give the whole world and we have nothing. We lose everything else. Yes.
As we wind up,
yes,
what would you like to tell us? Your final, final.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, you'll be here every other week. So
Yes.
for today's topic,
I want to say this very passionately, Muthoni, because this is what people say from the bottom of my heart.
Yes.
I want to say it very passionately. Every person in this world, no matter who they are, no matter the circumstances under which they were born or raised, no matter where they are today, no matter what they are doing, was created for a purpose. And every person can discover their purpose and become great people. Greatness is the result of purpose. And at whatever point you are in your life today, you can discover who you are and pursue it and enjoy fulfillment. And I want to charge all of us to aim towards that, to have that inner desire to be who we are and to discover who we are and to desire the things that matter, because purpose is the only thing that matters in this world. And many people who have succeeded, I have given you a list of the very successful people in the US. Any person who has succeeded in this world and who ends their life saying, I have fought a good fight, were people who lived a life of purpose.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Chris Kahuria. Nitaweka namba zake hapa everywhere, social media pages zake. He's a consultant. If you're struggling with your business, you're trying to find your identity, you're finding your purpose, you're in a place where things are not happening the way you want them to, you're frustrated with your job, he's the guy to talk to. Please give him a call. You know, I say,
yes,
sometimes we perish because of lack of wisdom.
Yes.
There are people trained or there are people whose job is to make our work easier, like you.
Yes.
Give him a call, give him his consultation fee, whatever it is he's asking for, usaidike. Sawa. Thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. You have been watching Muthoni's Mission. See you next week.
good.